Hello friends, thanks for tuning into this week's video. It's actually under the marketing umbrella, but it's also a tech tip. And every couple years I do a video on a software program called Snagit. It's a screen capture software that you install on your computer, and it basically takes over the print screen functionality on your computer. And a lot of people currently use the snip tool that's built into Windows 10 and Windows 11 and something comparable on the Mac, right? But Snagit is a hyper-powered, super-powered screenshot program. And I wanted to put this out there. I'm telling you, if you'll pay attention today and then take the time to drop you can do a free trial of it, by the way, for a week, I think, and then drop $60 on this software. It is a life-changing software. I use Snagit every single day that I'm using a computer. I take a screenshot of something and save it, send it to a client as a helpful how-to, whatever. I am screenshotting things all the time. And the ability to add arrows and text and steps and blurring things and all this stuff before you send the image, or having to do anything complicated in Photoshop or some other image editing software to make those little markups happen, saves the day. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some of the features of Snagit, and we'll take it from there. I hope you will try this software out. So here I am on the Kansas website for setting up an LLC, just a random website that I decided to pick for the example of today. And let's say a friend of yours asked, hey, when I'm starting to set up my LLC, what are the steps that I need to take? Well, you could come to the website, and then you initiate a print screen, right? You could, sure, you could send them the domain, the URL, but for the sake of demonstration today, I'm going to actually show you some cool things that you could do to get them direct answers. So when you install Snagit on your computer, it takes over your print screen key. So I'm going to click print screen. And that brings up this nice little laser pointer, basically, that lets me specifically know where I'm trying to capture from. For the sake of this one, let's just grab this register of business all the way down to the address and all the text so it's all visible. And then I let go, and it brings that up. Let me minimize the web browser. It brings that up in the Snagit editor. And this is where the cool thing happens. And the comparison would be is if you're using Snip, the Snip tool that's built into Windows 10 and Windows 11, there's not a whole lot of things that you can easily do with the Windows Snip tool to enhance the picture that you're trying to work on or send to somebody. So the first step here is that it's brought into Snagit, and I can just, hit Control-C to copy it and Control-V to paste it into an email and send it off to somebody. But more importantly, and I do this every day, something like this happens every single day, there's these tools across the top of Snagit, like arrow, text, call out, shape, stamp, and I wanted to show you just a couple of those really quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on arrows, and there's a whole bunch of arrows over here that you can choose from, and I'm just going to use the default one. And you could say, the first thing that you want to do is you need to make sure you've got your business name, your business structure, and your resident agent name and address figured out. So you could just use arrows, and then in your email you say, make sure to do these 3 things below, and then paste this into your email, and they've got this great thing to reference, an image to reference. So that's the arrow functionality. Text, of course, you can just put a thing in here and say, this is really important, right? And there's your text box, and you can put that wherever you want over things. You can make an outline if you want to make that an outline color. You could outline the text and do all kinds of things. So text is awesome. Let me undo all that. Callouts are these little bubble thoughts, right? So I'm going to click this one, and I can just do a call out right here that says, hey, and then type in whatever text here. And you can change the font size and all those kinds of things. So you can do bubbles that say, do this first and pay attention to the blah, 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 that kind of thing. So those callouts are nice. But there's some other features in Snagit that are just fantastic that I want to get to here, and those are things like fill, move, selection, more. So there's this more button, and you can do blur, right? So you can say, hey, I want to blur the section down here, and you just drag a selection over the text or image parts that you want to blur, and it does it for you. And there's different levels of blurriness that you can choose. That's a nice one. There is this cutout idea, and you could say, hey, I really don't care about this part to this part, and it'll do that for you and let you specify the cutout graphic behavior to show that there was something cut out of that section. That's really interesting that they do that. And I'm trying to think if the last thing I'll show you is steps. So you could say, okay, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this, and then maybe step 4, be sure you mail that. And that's some of the features that Snagit can take care of for you. There's a bunch of other things, but I didn't want this to be a 15-minute video. So upping your game, I think marketing, one of those things, is about presenting yourself as a professional and capable person. And Snagit is one of those tools that will help your workflow and help you show that you know what the heck you're talking about and communicate it in a way that is very powerful and pretty impressive. Actually, I get feedback consistently like, oh my gosh, those screenshots were so helpful. Thank you. That's awesome. How did you do that? So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please comment, let me know. And if you have any other ideas for future videos, please let me know those in the comments as well. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and people have liked me throwing a word in at the end to prove that they watched the video all the way through. So this week it's going to be rubber band. So if you watch the video all the way through, please throw rubber band in the comments for me. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you're having a great week. I'll see you next time.